You didn't think I knew that.
What quarter we in?
Well, we were in G just then, but now I want to take you back a little bit. You want to dance a little bit, and I know some of these ladies want to jump up there. It's hard to see sitting. One rule a long time ago I learned. You can only absorb as much in your mind as you can stand in your backside. So if you need to get up and dance and have a good time, you just do that. An old song called Old Joe Clark.
What chord we in?
We're in G.
I'm in G.
That's great. Now, you know, back in the old days, didn't have these electric guitars and all these mics, and they had to sit around and just play the guitar, no amplification and none of that. And what I just played for you was what I learned a little bit from my grandpa, Creasy, who lived over in Nicholas County. And he played clawhammer, and I'd go up there in the summertime, and he'd get up early in the morning and build a fire in the fireplace. It was cold in Nicholas County, even in June, July, and August. And he'd get up there and build that fire, and I'd sneak downstairs as soon as I heard him up, because we slept upstairs when we went to visit. And I'd sit on the steps until he would notice me and motion for me to come on in and sit there by the fire with him and play that banjo. And he played the most beautiful banjo that I ever heard. Wish I could play like him. So he got me interested in it, and I came home, and Dad had an old banjo that he had traded up hanging on the wall. It had 2 strings on it, and the head was broken. And the old hide head, and he said, well, that's no problem. You go up here on the hill, and he gave me a 10-gauge shotgun, a double barrel. I've got it out in the house now. He said, now you shoot this gun off. You get right here at the bars, and I know you're not big enough to hold that gun up. It's a big log and bird gun. Lay that barrel over there at the bars, and you pull the trigger when you see the groundhog come out of his hole. He said, let him get out 2 or 3 feet. I did that, just exactly like he told me, and I pulled both triggers. The gun went across the bars that way, and I went back this way. Now, I never hunted with that gun. It only takes one bad trick like that. I never hunted with that gun, but when Dad died, he knew how I hated that gun. He willed that gun to me.
Well, I want to know about the hunt.
The hide, well, we tanned the hide. You know, you take some ashes and put it in there for a few days. Stinks like all get out. But you put it in those ashes, and the hair will just come off of it real. You scrape that off, and then you stretch it. And you use a solution on, I forget what the solution was, but it had a lot of salt in it, and some sulfur, I think. And you put it on there and let it dry, and you scrape it good and stretch it all you can stretch it, and then when it gets dry, you put it on the banjo. So I learned to play the banjo with 2 strings, and that's about all I use still today. But 2 strings, and then Grandpa finally figured out I needed 5, and so he got me some others to put on there. And that's how I kind of got started playing the banjo. But he learned the point of all this foolishness. He learned to play the banjo from his Uncle John. His Uncle John fought with the 28th Virginia Infantry throughout the Civil War. He was wounded twice. He was in prison 3 times. But when he was in camp, he played the banjo. And he brought that banjo sound back to Nicholas County. And Grandpa learned it from him. So what I just played for you goes back as far as the Civil War.